Yeah, my name is Mike Morgan, and I have lived in Jonesborough since 1999, so 25 years now. Back in 1995, me and my then wife, we lived in Orlando, Florida, and we decided we wanted to get away from the heat and the tourism and all of the frustration of living in a big city like that. We had driven through Tennessee when we were traveling to one of my military bases for assignment. And we just fell in love with the mountainous areas over here at East Tennessee. So in 1995, when we were considering moving away from Orlando, we took out a map, and this might sound silly, we took out a map, opened up the map. I had her close her eyes and poke her finger into the map in Tennessee, and it came up Johnson City. So we moved to Johnson City, Tennessee about 6 months later, and it took a few years for me to really embrace the idea of Jonesborough, the small town that it was, even though it's grown now, but it was much smaller back then. And it took a while to embrace the idea of moving to the small town of Jonesborough, but I'll tell you, once I did, it made me so much happier to be in the relaxed lifestyle. And now, with the growth that's occurred, it may not be considered as much of a small town, but it's still pretty small, with a lot more availability of options for people to have.
Would you consider yourself a Jonesboroughian?
Oh, absolutely. At this point in my life, I have 3 children who have lived here basically their entire lives. And they don't see themselves as anything but a Jonesboroughian. And I see myself the same way. I volunteer for festivals, I attend everything that I can. I come here to the McKinney Center so often it feels like a second home sometimes. I absolutely love it here, and I can't see myself living anywhere else. I honestly believed that the lifestyle would just be totally relaxed, where all that anybody would do was be sitting on their front porch, talking about the weather, just passing time and trying to let life go by. But it's so much more than that. Thanks to leadership in Jonesborough, we now have festivals throughout the summer. There is a festival, it seems like every weekend for sure. There's going to be 2, maybe 3 festivals that you can attend. Over the 25 years I've been here, I've gotten to know a lot of the people in the community, including, here's something that I absolutely love. We have had our past 2 mayors, Chuck Vest and Kelly Wolf. These gentlemen are more than happy to talk to any citizen in the community about any issue they may have. They can talk to you about positive things. They will talk to you about sports if you feel like talking to them about sports and you run into them on the street. I have actually done that with Mayor Chuck Vest. He's a very pleasant man, and the rest of the town council is the same way. I know several of them, Adam Dix and Terry Countermine. The whole town council just seems so enthusiastic and engaged with the people and the citizenry here. And that makes this a much more special place to be. I've lived in other small towns when I was growing up, and I can tell you this, it would have been a surprise for the mayor to say hello to you. In Johnson City, nearby, just 20 minutes away, they have a university, East Tennessee State University. So many programs there that no matter what your interest is, you're probably going to find a major there that allows you to pursue that as a career. And where I'm retired military, there is a VA hospital there that is one of the original 5 VA hospitals in the country and is rated as one of the top 5 VA hospitals in the country right now. It's called Mountain Home Veterans Administration Hospital. And the doctors there are wonderful, the facility is wonderful, they have a national cemetery right there that I just visited on Memorial Day last week. And with all of those things, with everything that this area has, especially for veterans, this is one of the most welcoming areas for veterans I've ever been to as well. There is a Veterans Memorial right downtown Jonesborough. There's a Veterans Memorial right outside of the VA Center there in Johnson City. I underestimated how important veterans were to the people of this area, because I hadn't seen that in other places I lived. I hope that the progress that has been made by the town leadership continues. You know, we've seen growth. It's the largest growing town in the area, and the growth has been controlled. It hasn't been overwhelming. What I'd like to see for the future, though, is that we just continue the path that we're on.
You could lose what? Anything about what makes it unique by growing?
I don't think so, because the growth is not happening in the downtown area. The growth is happening on 11E, which is already a major thoroughfare. There are so many cars that come through Jonesborough on 11E every day, and some folks have been upset by, for example, Cookout, when they put the Cookout building in where the old bank was. And they thought, oh, the town has lost its charm, and all I could think was, no, the town is a half a mile away, just down the road. That's where downtown is. That's where the charm is, and the charm is in the people, not the buildings. So even though there's a Wendy's that's going to be popping up next to the hotel down the road, okay, it's a Wendy's, but it's on 11E. All the traffic is already there, and 11E, let's be honest, isn't all that charming to begin with.
Do you find that a lot in Jonesborough, where people disagree on some things, but then find a place to meet when it comes to what's going on in the town?
I think it's like with any conversation you have with anybody. If you begin from a place of respect and civility, and that other person matches your demeanor in that, I think that any conversation can be had. So I try to come to a place where when I'm actually talking to a person, I talk to that person, like I said, with respect and civility, and just try to go to a place where we can stay respectful and civil and have a conversation. Maybe minds are changed, probably not. Maybe opinions differ, but that's going to be fine. Differing opinions is not the problem with what we got going on in our national politics right now. It's not differing opinions, it's the inability to see the other side's humanity and treat them with the respect and civility that humanity deserves. Plus, when you only got around, 8,000 people? When you only got that many people, you start burning bridges, you run out of bridges quick.